Cool. Yeah.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I wanted to start acknowledging if you want to share this video publicly with a thumbs up.
Good
Yeah,
to go.
perfect. Okay. So how are you? What school do you attend? Where are you at in your academics? And what are your professional aspirations?
Okay. I'm Katie MacQueen. I go to the Colorado School of Public Health, where I am pursuing a master's of public health and epidemiology. I guess I have 2 more semesters after this. I just have to do my capstone and then I'm done finally. Um, and then professionally, what I really would love to do is epidemiology and hopefully work at a health department and work in a community.
That's really great. I wanted to thank you for like all the amazing tasks that you have been engaging in the whole team, everything that you are always helping with, and how you are always ready to like give your ideas. So thank you so much for that. So I wanted to ask you now, what attracted you to Uniting for Action?
Well, originally I was attracted to just the vaccine considerations projects because vaccinations are really my soapbox. I love talking about vaccinations and looking into vaccine hesitancy and the reasons behind it and the social determinants of health that can act as barriers or helpers to people getting vaccinations. And then as the project kind of evolved, it got more interesting, seeing like, oh, there is a nonprofit that can look into basically anything you really want. And I think that's really interesting. So yeah, initially I was attracted to vaccines, but now I'm attracted to the idea of kind of a pick your own internship. I think that's really interesting and it'll definitely be attractive to future members.
Yeah, that sounds really great. So what were you hoping to get out of doing an internship with Uniting for Action?
Well, the practicum credit's really great. But I guess in general, I was hoping to, learn more about how kind of, I guess it would be classified as a nonprofit works. Because in my classroom, we always talk about like government, city health department type situations. And I always wondered like what is it going to be like to work at a nonprofit and get a nonprofit off the ground and find out ways that we can help the community other than being a part of the government, and even honestly how that could be better than working with the government because a lot of people don't trust the government. So finding different ways to help communities, I was really interested in finding out about that, and I guess also expanding my skills, learning new things. So yeah, that's really all I was hoping to get out of it.
Yeah, that's really great. How has Uniting for Action met or exceeded your expectations?
Well, it certainly exceeded my expectations as I did things that I never thought I would do. I've learned skills that I never thought I would have. And then again, I learned a lot about the nonprofit life and all the aches and pains, but also all the triumphs of, being a part of a project like this. So yeah, it certainly has exceeded my expectations. I have learned a lot, and I've learned a lot about myself and my own leadership qualities and what I need to work on as a leader, and also just being a part of a team too. You know, learning the importance of communication, of making sure everyone understands what they're doing all the time, and just uh, just the organization that you need to have to just organize your own time and then other people's time and just make sure everything gets done and keeping on top of people. So certainly has exceeded my expectations.
That's so good. That's true. So which teams did you choose to work on and why?
Yes. Okay. So initially I was on just the research team because, that's my main interest is doing research and finding things out and doing analysis. And I love playing with numbers, which we haven't really done, but learning how to do qualitative analysis has been really interesting. And then eventually I decided to also do the production team because I always felt like I was kind of lacking in like the graphic design part and communicating to different audiences through visuals. Because I can write a mean paper, but can I put it into a picture? Not so much. I always want to put way too many words. So learning how to take a concept and make it more palatable to a bigger audience was a big like project for myself, and so I thought the production team could help me do that.
Wow, that's so interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm.
So now that you told me that, like for each team, let's say for the research team, what type of things have you been doing as a part of the research team? And can you screen share some examples?
I can for sure. I have everything all pulled up. Okay. I guess I'll start with the big hitter, which was the FDA presentation. So this was really, really unexpected, but an extraordinarily exciting opportunity. Jared and I got to present in front of the FDA for the J&J booster open public hearing. So we worked together on a script, and my section was about the COVID-19 and the focus of the worldwide concerns, especially with the WHO's moratorium and the concerns over supply and demand and getting third world countries vaccinated before richer countries could take up all the supply for their boosters, which yes is necessary in some cases, but for whole population maybe not right now. So I think that was my section. So I presented that. Most nerve-wracking 2 minutes of my entire life so far.
I
And
can
then
imagine.
it was exciting but scary but exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously we also worked on the slides that are on the website somewhere, which this is very interesting seeing all the different ways that Jared wanted to put together just one slide. It's like, oh wow, it really changes everything.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome.
Hmm. And then we also did the FDA proposal where we put together everything and then slapped it all together, sent to the FDA, and obviously they liked it, so yay.
Mhm.
Yay. And I don't need to. And then another big thing I did with the research team was this polarization analysis that I did with Hannah. We talked about how our political climate has impacted our vaccination rates. We found the difference between conservatives and moderates in both how there's a discrepancy in how they are vaccinated, but also how much they trust the science behind vaccinations, which again will impact whether or not they can be convinced to get a vaccine or not. And then we also looked on how rural and urban populations could also play a confounding factor into vaccination rates of conservatives and moderates, which I thought was very interesting because, yeah, you think rural populations would be more conservative, but sometimes it's just an issue of them not having access to uh, healthcare. So very interesting. Okay. And then also on the more uh, administration side, I obviously did the protocols and breaking everything down into little nano actions and little stepwise chunks where people could spend, a couple minutes on each step, and then that way everything is done and we make sure everybody has everything they need for the showcase, and then that can also be applied to everything, all different aspects of what we have to do. And then I also did the job description, which will probably change for the research team. And I think that was it for the research team for me.
For the research team. So now can you screen share again what you did for the production team? And can you
Yeah,
like explain me? Mhm.
I will. I forgot to get a candle. Let me get that. Okay. Yeah, so for the production team, I obviously did all the video processing with everybody. And then on top of that, I also did a couple little social media posts that I don't think ever got posted, but they're there. So I did one of mine on the COVID-19 vaccine risk and miscarriage and infertility, which they have not found a connection between that. And we spent a lot of time on this little section of swipe out to find more. And then I also did another one that was about God, uh, that was about whether or not you need a vaccine if you've had COVID-19. Obviously, you do because immunity wanes. Um, and then, yeah, it was that and video processing, really. So that was, again, another skill that I never thought I could do, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it was amazing working with you. So,
Yes,
what valuable, thank you. What valuable skills and experiences have you gained by being a part of Uniting for Action?
um, I think the biggest skill for me was definitely the public speaking for the FDA because I am terrified of public speaking. So that was a big step for me to, even though it was just with a phone, I still felt like, the entire world was looking at me. And it was so scary. But I have definitely have a little more confidence and I know if I have my script and I know what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be fine. So that was a big skill that I have learned and I feel a lot more confident in. And then obviously another skill was the graphic design and taking research and putting it into a visual palatable format and learning how to adjust that for different audiences. And then I also obviously increased my analysis skills through the two analyses that I did. So yeah, those are some pretty good skills that I feel a lot more confident on now.
That's really great. So, how has Uniting for Action helped you take what you have learned in the classroom and apply it in the real world?
Okay, so I think the biggest thing is obviously taking my critical thinking skills and applying them to the analysis to the FDA presentation. Um, that was the biggest one. I was like, oh yeah, I've done this in my class, so I can put this into my paper and really learning to, dig deep and find the connections and stuff like that. And then also I think also communication because you have to communicate with your teachers and now I have to communicate with my team members, with my boss. So yeah, critical skills and communication. I think those are the two biggest things that I learned in my classroom and now they're in the real world.
That's right. So, have you found Uniting for Action to be flexible in accommodating your schedule and how so?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely appreciate the fact that the meetings are recorded. So if you do have to miss one due to schedule issues, you can go back and watch it, no big deal. And then you obviously can work whenever you need to. So like I know for me, a couple times during the week I had planned to do something, but then something else comes up and I just can't do it. But I know I can work over the weekend a little bit and then make up that time and it'll be fine. So yes, it's very flexible and very accommodating for me.
So, have you found Uniting for Action to be an inclusive, welcoming, and empowering environment? How so?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I know for me again, I'm a very shy, reserved person. So at first I was really scared to speak up, to give my opinions, but Jared and everybody on the team was really encouraging and obviously wanted to hear my opinions. And every time were very supportive and helped me work through any problems I was having. And I knew if I had a problem or had a question and asked it, it would be answered and I wouldn't feel bad about anything. And if I had opinion that wasn't very good, I wouldn't be yelled at. I wouldn't be ridiculed. It felt very welcoming. And obviously we're very try to be very inclusive and helpful as leaders. And I think we have built a very inclusive, welcoming, and empowering environment because we just encourage everyone to speak up and everyone's opinion matters and all feedback is taken into consideration.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So, what have been the best parts or most valuable aspects about being a part of Uniting for Action?
I think for me, the best part of being a part of Uniting for Action was the teamwork that I experienced. I haven't had too much experience working on teams. Most of the jobs I've had have been fairly autonomous and by myself, and especially in this COVID-19 where you can't really talk to anybody. I came to love doing the team meetings because I got to see everybody and hear everybody talk and get to collaborate with people. So having that little human connection was really nice and really valuable for me because again, I got to increase my communication skills and learn where I can improve. Um, and then also, yeah, feel really encouraged to, speak my ideas, speak my opinions, and know that I have a safety net to fall back on because, other people got my back. So that has definitely been the best part for me is the teamwork and the amazing collaboration that I've experienced as being a part of this team.
Yeah, I totally feel that as well. So, would you recommend Uniting for Action to others? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would recommend Uniting for Action, especially if somebody has a interest that might not be represented in the internship pool that they're looking at, especially now with the kind of choose your own internship approach that we're going to be changing as the project evolves. I think that's going to be really valuable to a lot of people because you can you can either explore new avenues that you didn't think you'd be interested in, or you can really focus in on something you are extremely passionate about and see change being made. And I think that'll be really great for a lot of people. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Uniting for Action for
Yeah, that's
me.
so true. Mhm. How will you use what you learned during your time in your career?
Yeah, I think I will definitely use my communication skills in my career, especially if I am working with a group of people, which hopefully I will be. And I think also my organization, I really like the way that the Google Drive is set up where you know where everything is or you can find it really easily. So I think that's also going to translate very well into my career because I've always had a little bit of a difficulty getting organized, but seeing that it's simple is really helped me figure out my own system. I also think, again, the public speaking skills will definitely come in handy, especially if I do end up working in a government position. You'll definitely have to talk to community members in a big group. So having that, it's just a community. I've talked to the FTA, I'll be fine. So having
Exactly.
that confidence to public speak, I think will be very helpful in my career.
Yeah, that's true. So the last question would be, what advice do you have for future United for Action members?
I think my biggest piece of advice is to not be scared. Everybody here is really nice and really accepting. Ask questions if you have questions. It's better to understand what you're doing before you're going in than get into the middle of it, realize you've done it all wrong and have to redo it. So make sure you know everything you're supposed to know. There are no stupid questions. Somebody will answer you. And yeah, speak your opinions because they really matter. We really want them. Any and all feedback is good feedback. So don't be scared. Use your voice. You're gonna do great.
Yeah, that's so true. I agree with you. So thank you so much for being a leader with me. It was amazing to work with you. Thank you for leading by example and always like helping with everything that you can. Yeah, so yeah,
No,
thank you so much. And yeah, if you want to share anything else, comment.
yeah, I mean, oh, thank you for being an amazing leader as well. You definitely brought some great skills that we desperately needed, and I have learned a lot from you. So, thank you for your amazing leadership and
From
being a great co-leader. I feel very supported, and yeah, I'm excited to see where you go. So,
Thank you.
um, yeah, in general, yay,
Amazing.
go Unite for Action.
Thank you. Thank
Yay.
you so much. And well, see you. Bye bye.
Yeah, see you later.
Glad to have this.
Bye.
Bye.